Hey everybody, Steve here with RV Site to Site. And today I want to discuss a topic that might make some of you upset, but I really hope not. And I recently saw a video about a dog that died trapped inside an RV when the breaker tripped, causing air conditioning to fail. And I've seen others where the dog died in a vehicle when the owners left for just a few moments. And here in this news article, a police dog, Vader, died when the officer left for just a few minutes, and he left the air conditioning on. A few minutes later, the air conditioner failed, and unfortunately, Vader succumbed to the heat. And the awful thing was that the cruiser was equipped with an alert system that would notify the officer in such situations. And that system also failed. And these things really trouble me. And this is just one of the reasons that Renee and I have chosen to never take our animals with us when we go camping. And I know that some of you are going to think we hate dogs. But if you will watch this whole video, I think that you will find that we actually love animals, especially dogs, very much. And so please stay tuned to the very end. And I'm going to have a conversation with one of my favorite dogs of all time. So before we get into it, let's roll that intro. Now, I grew up on a farm on the top of a ridge in West Virginia, and we had lots of animals, 300 chickens, 13 cows and a bull, a pony, some sheep and goats, a guinea named Henry, and my very first dog, Spotty. Spotty, unfortunately, had a very bad habit of chasing a few vehicles that passed our house. And then one day a car hit him, and I remember that day very well because I cried and cried. And my favorite show at that time was Lassie, and so we replaced Spotty with a collie named Sparky. And we also had a coon dog named Redbone. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I never did like Redbone. And we always kept him on a chain, and one day Henry the guinea got too close, and well, let's just say that didn't end well. And I don't want to bore you with all the dogs that we've had over the years, but I want you to just understand that Renee and I love dogs. And when we got married in 1968, and I was stationed at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi, we got this little dog. He was a cute thing, and we named him Bart. And we drove to New Orleans at that same time to rescue a cat. And for the life of me, I can't remember her name. When I got back from Thailand during the Vietnam War, Renee and I got a beautiful white German Shepherd named Missy. And I built this doghouse for Missy that was heated in the wintertime. Missy had some of the cutest pups, and we had no problem finding people to adopt them. Missy passed away from a heart condition, and then we bought a Cocker Spaniel. Mickey was the only dog that we ever had that came with AKC registered papers. All of our other dogs were rescues. Mickey also liked to chase cars, and one day met his demise. He had followed one of our neighbors jogging. Now, before you get into judgmental about this, and you have to understand that most dogs back in those days were outside dogs, and frankly, they enjoyed that freedom. And also, most of the places we lived have been in very rural areas surrounded by farms. From there, we found Hungry Jack. Actually, Hungry Jack found us, and he was full size when he wandered up to our house and was skin and bones. And we fed him, and he just gobbled it up almost like he had never had food before in his life. And I tried to find other photos of him, but our son Stevie was about 2 or 3 then, and often used Hungry Jack for a pillow. We lived in a very rural area then, and one day we couldn't find Hungry Jack, and we don't know if he was stolen or just wandered off. And then we lived in a rural Raleigh area then, but because of our business, we decided to move to Greenville, North Carolina, and Stevie missed having a dog. So we went to the pound and found Benji. He was a great little dog, and our son and daughter just loved him. And then we got another Cocker Spaniel and named him Cody. And one day when our son was 9, this beautiful mixed breed dog came to our house. He looked to be maybe 1 year old at that time, and we fed him and then called the pound to see if someone had reported him missing. We put ads in the paper, but no one responded. We had made friends with a lady with the Humane Society at that time, and so we called her and asked if someone had reported him missing, and we wondered if they couldn't find him, if it'd be okay if we kept him. And she said that since we lived in a college town, a student leaving the area probably dropped him off in our neighborhood, hoping that someone would take him in. And we were really happy to be the ones to do that. Now, we named him Zach. And the reason we named him Zach, because he was a wee little dog, and a wee little dog was he. And if you have to be familiar with biblical children's rhymes to understand that little thing. And here's a photo of Renee and I in our backyard with Cody and Zach. And yes, if you've seen some of our other videos, we had full hookups in our backyard, so it may look like we're camping, but we're actually in our backyard. And to make a long story short, our son was 9 when that wee little dog showed up, and 29 when Zach passed. Yes, Zach was 21 years old when he died, and it was a very sad day for our entire family. And you may have seen our oldest grandson, Jonathan, in some of our other videos, and Jonathan's very first word was Zach. We've had other dogs and cats over the years, but we've never taken them camping with us, and we're spontaneous, and when we leave the camper for a day, we may not come back for several hours. Sometimes we may venture out 50 miles to explore the area. We may take an all-day train ride. We may go on a day-long bus tour of the area. And many state and national parks do not allow animals on the trails. And personally, this is a very, very personal decision for us. We do not want to take a chance of leaving our animals alone. And I don't want my situation to show up on a news report. We've always, and I mean always, boarded our dog or dogs with a commercial boarding facility or left him with a friend or a relative. Now that choice is way easier than it used to. Now that choice is way easier than it used to be with websites like rover.com where you can find pet sitters. I did a search and there are 20 sitters within 20 minutes of me with references and rates. And within 5 minutes from my house, there's a pet resort. And many more within a 30-minute drive. And if you do camp with your animals, I suggest you get a product called Waggle, where you can monitor the temperature of your RV in case the RV or the heat stops working. Unfortunately, that's really common. A fuse blows or the propane doesn't switch over. However, you must be able to connect to the internet or have a good cell signal. And if you do rely on that, please don't venture out very far. Temperatures in RVs can change drastically in a very short time in an RV. Also consider getting a soft start for your RV so that a sudden surge won't trip a breaker. And I'll link for all these in the description below. Our grandson Jonathan has this amazing little dog. This is Mouse. You have to love this face. She is a Havanese, which is part of the Bichon family of dogs. And if you look up a Havanese, you will find that the Havanese are cheerful little dogs with a spring in their step and a big gleam in their big brown eyes. They're smart and very trainable. They're excellent watchdogs and take their jobs seriously, but they rarely bark. Jonathan has to travel a lot for his job, and Renee and I constantly call him and ask, "When's your next trip?" And he knows why, because we love keeping Mouse. And Mouse loves staying with us. She follows us everywhere or wherever we go, and she relaxes in her bed beside us when we're playing cards. And recently, Mouse and I had a conversation about this topic, and she said that she fully understood our position, and I hope you do too. Please understand that I have no problem with you traveling with your favorite little animals and creatures. Just please make sure that you take the necessary precautions to make sure that they're safe. So I think that will do it for this video for now. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. May the Lord bless and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Let it go, make my body go, take our bodies higher and higher. we talked to your daddy, and he said it's okay if we keep you for another week. Is that okay with you, Mouse? I just want to know, is it okay with you? If it's okay with you for you to stay with us another week, just jump up here on my leg, okay? If so, well, I'll tell you what. Jump
Start over
on my
again.
leg if it's okay with you. Okay, good. All right, you're okay with it then. Good.